wanted you to get to meet Meacham Middle School and know a little bit about our students and a little bit about our data before we dive into how Listenwise can help us. As you can see from the pie chart on the left of your screen, our emergent bilingual population is 69.4%. That includes both newcomers, and the majority of our EB population are long-term emergent bilinguals, meaning that they've been in U.S. schools for a long time, but have not gained language proficiency to be exited out of the program, meaning that they are scoring low in either listening, reading, writing, or speaking, and not at that proficient level yet. And so we know that if we are catering to and ensuring best practices for our emergent bilingual population, our school will rise. Looking at our previous performance data, in Texas, our state test measures performance by approaches, meets, and masters. So you will see that of our EB students, 52% scored approaches on last year's STAR test, and this is all tests. We didn't delineate for the purposes of this webinar between math, science, social studies, and English. We just lumped all tests together. And our all students is 53%, which really mirrors that as our EB population goes. So does our regular student pop also. In the meets category, which is scoring on grade level, our EB students are scoring 19% and all students are scoring 22%. And then on masters, are we meeting those students who are really excelling? Our EB students are 2% and all students are 4%. We want to acknowledge we certainly have work to do at Meacham Middle School to raise the bar and get those numbers up for all students. I know that I am not happy with the fact that only 53% of our students are even approaching grade level. That means 47% are not. That means 48% of our EB students are not meeting grade level standard. And that's an area of growth for us. And so we are going into our pockets and looking for all resources that can possibly help us. Coming from a school that used Listenwise previously, and when I was first introduced to this program, we had a similar population, and we really saw growth and authentic learning and engagement with Listenwise materials. And the platform has become so robust, even since I started using Listenwise at that previous campus, that I'm excited to get to share it with everyone here and introduce it to some of our teachers here who've been playing with it and have had some really good experiences. So y'all don't need to listen to me much more. Let's I want Miss Barry to get to share her experience, just getting introduced to it and sharing what it was like from a student perspective.
Yeah. Do we want to go to the next slide?
Sure, let's go.
Okay. So the first thing that we did was I got the kids set up into Google Classroom, and because it can link to your Google Classroom, which I felt was really cool. And so what we did was we did do our Ruby Bridges, and the first thing I set up, it was easy for teachers to set up. And so what I was able to do is set up for the Ruby Bridges quiz and had them do it like in a station when they were finished with their work, or when they were at this station, they got to do like a listening station, and then the comprehension of the listening. The kids really, really wanted me to tell y'all that that they enjoyed being able to hear from Ruby Bridges herself, that was impactful for them, because they knew at that moment that this was a true situation, because it's so far-fetched for them. It was the Ruby Bridges quiz. All of my students took from all different levels, just to see, because I asked them, I said, I want y'all to tell me, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do you think that this is good? Tell me the good and the bad. And it was really difficult for them to find anything that they didn't like about it. Even the picture in Ruby Bridges was a big thing for them. We discussed the picture, and on our state test for emergent bilinguals or ESL students, they do have to take one where they look at a picture and they have to describe it. And so that was what we did, you know, whole group afterwards, kind of our conclusion. Yes, and then so, like, when we were looking at the quiz questions, they are aligned to our state standards, which I think are pretty aligned to other state standards. So, that was a big thing for me because I wasn't expecting that from the program, I'm sorry, but I wasn't expecting that, and then when I saw it, I was like, "Yes, I can yes, yes, this is amazing." So it really was very helpful to see that this is what they're going to experience when they take, in Texas, we call it TELPAS, when they take the English language proficiency test, and when they take our state standard test, they're going to see these types of questions. So I felt like that was impactful for my students in the long run.